Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca, back at the Church of Chewbacca. This is going to be the NL West Showdown. Once again, we're making a video that is about efficiency, not about going the fastest way, because as I stated before, whenever we did the AL West, if you want to do it as quick as possible, you can just go and skip everything and be down 0 to 15, and hopefully you can beat it with just pretty much a Battle Royale lineup. If you're that good at the game, then by no means, you probably don't need these tips anyways, and God bless and congratulations. I'm going to go over each of these missions and which ones I think are worth doing and which ones I don't think are worth doing. So let's get this started. Just a reminder that the first three missions before any showdown can be randomized, so they're not always it's these three missions for sure, but they could be randomized in the sense of, like, the Host the Rockies mission could be ahead of the swim past Shark mission. They might not be in this particular order. For the first mission, I had Host the Rockies. This is pretty much you're facing Colorado Rockies at your home stadium, which is always ship it for whatever reason. I guess it's because it was the most played online stadium last year. Because minor league stadiums were played because major league stadiums were lagged whenever we played. Anyway, the Host the Rockies missions is you face the Colorado Rockies. You got to hit 2 home runs. You're facing Jonathan Gray. You can do the mission because it's the first 3 innings, but when you do the mission, just do the first inning. If you don't hit home runs in the first inning, just leave out. Otherwise, you're wasting time because you got to pitch, and that's just time consuming. The next mission is Swim Past Shark. For Swim Past Shark, I would actually do this one because it's 3 hits and 2 runs in the first inning. So pretty much you just bat, and if you don't get it, you don't get it, but it's a pretty quick and easy one. Samardzija, he throws some decent pitches. He doesn't throw anything too ridiculous. He doesn't throw too hard, so you should be able to do it. It's only on veteran. The next one is Marte Parte ×2. Pretty much you're facing the Diamondbacks lineup, the beginning of their lineup, which is Starling Marte, then I believe it's David Peralta, then you face Ketel Marte in that order. You have to strike one of them out. I think I've done this mission 3 or 4 times, and the one time they got a run, and it was on some fluky stuff where my outfielder didn't lock onto the ball. It's not too hard of a mission. This is with your starting pitcher. Just so you know, it's with the starting pitcher. It's on veteran, so it's not too much of difficulty. The first showdown is versus Kirby Yates, the closer for the San Diego Padres. You're only down 2 runs. You get 12 outs, so you have to score 3 runs on 12 outs. My recommendation when facing Kirby Yates is he does not throw very hard. He throws at max 94 if he throws a fastball high. He likes to throw his splitter a lot as well. So what I did is I put my, if you're not using directional hitting and you're using zone hitting, I put my PCI at the bottom of the zone and then used it if he threw a splitter or his changeup. I would mash one of those pitches if it didn't go out of the zone. If not, when he threw a fastball, he wouldn't always throw them high, so it allows you to bring your PCI up because he's not throwing that hard. So I'd recommend leaving your PCI at the bottom of the zone against Kirby Yates. That is very important. And be very patient because he does not throw a lot of strikes. It's on all-star difficulty, so just keep that in mind. For the next one that I had in the second set of 3, is Outduel the Sheriff, which is essentially Chris Paddock, who was a rookie last year, had a very good rookie season. I recommend him for fantasy baseball. If you're playing fantasy baseball this year. I don't recommend him so much for the video game as a card, but that's a different discussion. You have to score 3 runs in the first 3 innings without allowing a run. I actually would recommend doing this. It can be a little time consuming if you don't get the runs right away. But he doesn't have any stuff that's like super nasty, so he's pretty easy to hit. And you only have to score 3 runs. It doesn't matter how you score them. So without any requirements besides scoring 3 runs in 3 innings, I think you can do this one pretty quickly. I knocked down the first inning a couple times, so I recommend doing it. The next one is King Kershaw. You have to face Clayton Kershaw and score 2 runs, get 3 hits, and 1 be an extra base hit in the first 3 innings. I normally do this one, but I don't necessarily think it's a necessity. I think this one's actually optional. If you think you can hit Kershaw well, especially if you've played him a lot in MLB 19 and you can pick up his pitching, you might be able to knock this one out pretty early and pretty quickly. But it's one of those ones where I probably played in the first inning, and if you don't get it in the first inning, just leave out. The next one is Ray Will Blow You Away. This is you have to tally 3 hits, including a home run. If you don't do the Kershaw one, I'd recommend doing this one. Actually, I'd recommend whichever one is going to give you the Gold NL West Live Player Series. So whichever one is the third one in the series, I'd recommend doing out of these two. They're about the same. Robbie Ray can be pretty hard to hit a home run off of. He does have a difference in his fastball and his curveball. So just keep that in mind. He's left-handed. They're both left-handed, Kershaw and Robbie Ray. Then after you do those 3 missions, it's the Showdown versus Bumgarner. This Showdown isn't that bad, other than you'll notice whenever you're picking players in the NL West, a lot of the better hitters are left-handed, so you're getting a lot of lefty-on-lefty matchups. So keep that in mind. Bumgarner throws his cutter a lot compared to his other pitches, and I would focus on trying to drive the cutter, especially if he keeps it inside and high, because you can really turn on it. I haven't really had too much trouble with this Showdown. It is on All-Star. Keep in mind that he does not throw very hard, and he does mix a lot of his pitches in. He does not throw a lot of fastballs either, so that's why I said to focus on the cutter. Then the next 3, after you complete that Showdown, there's another 3 missions before you get to facing Walker Buehler in the final Showdown. This mission is Dodgers Dinger Danger. Essentially, you start in the 8th inning with your relief pitcher, and you have to finish out the game without allowing a home run. You face the beginning of the Dodgers lineup, so there is some power there with Bellinger, Mookie Betts. You'll have to face Max Muncy. Just whenever you're drafting players, make sure you draft a closer, a good reliever. You actually get your middle reliever in here. I think it's your first setup man, if I'm not mistaken. And just make sure you keep the ball down. Maybe work in a high fastball every once in a while, just try to strike a guy out. But definitely keep the ball down and away if you can, because you can't let up a home run. It's on veterans, so it's actually a very doable mission. I recommend doing this one every time. The next one is strike out 3 batters without giving up a home run in the first 2 innings versus the Rockies. Although you have to face a very good Rockies lineup, being this on veteran difficulty, if you get a halfway decent closer, that's not even your closer, it's your starter. If your starter's halfway decent, especially if he's right-handed, this actually isn't too bad of a mission. Trevor Story seems to not be able to fall out of a boat and hit water in this mission for whatever reason. I've struck him out every time. He's like the 4th or 5th batter, as well as Charlie Blackmon and David Dahl. You face those 2 as the first 2 hitters, and they don't make contact very well either. They seem to strike out quite a bit as well. Then the last mission is the NL West Live Series squad. 100% recommend doing this mission. The reason I 100% recommend doing this mission is you get 2 final Showdown runs. It's really not that hard. You face Kenley Jensen to start, who's right-handed. He does throw cutters, but most of your lineup at this point should be left-handed, just because of the NL West players are almost all left-handed that are worth picking up early on. These 2 missions also give you a Diamond NL West player, which is important, and a Diamond perk. So what we're going to do now is that I'm at the final Showdown versus Buehler. We're going to go look and see what my lineup and my perks look like, and what I'd recommend some players, especially early on, to get that I had a lot of success with while doing this. This is my 3rd time around doing this. So I recommend some of these players, and on top of that, you should somewhere be, with listening to my method, be playing somewhere 7 to 15 in the last matchup, just so you know. So let's look at the squad right now that I do have. As you can see, like I said before, a lot of left-handed hitters. Pretty much the only right-handed hitters you could end up with is Mookie Betts or Nolan Arenado, and neither of them hit right-handed pitching that well, which is what Walker Buehler is. So I wouldn't even recommend picking them if there's a better option, which there probably will be. So what I would recommend is early on, if you can, to get Max Muncy because as you can see, he does hit left and right-handed pitching well. By getting him, it gives you power. He can play first or second base, which you will need for some of the missions because some of the missions you do have to have fielders. I believe he can also play third base. We'll look. Yes, he can also play third base. So I recommend making sure that you pick him as one of the players, as one of your goals early on if you can. Another player I had a lot of success with is David Dahl. Right now he's out of position at third base just because I'm going into the last mission with Walker Buehler. But he plays left field. He's pretty decent in the field, but his hitting his swing seems to be really good hitting wise. And also another goal to look for is Charlie Blackmon. I know it looks like I'm a Colorado Rockies fan, but that's not the case. I'm actually a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, but I recommend these three players early on if you can get them. They seem to pop up quite a bit. Another person that's a budget guy that's not even actually in my lineup right now is... Oh, that's the pitchers. Hold on one second. Another guy that's not in my lineup right now, but I highly recommend is actually Cole Cahoon, if you can get him as a bronze. His numbers don't look very good. However, when he hits, for whatever reason, maybe it's because of his short, compact swing, his swing just crushes the ball in these missions. He's come up with a lot of clutch hits for me, especially early on for a bronze player. So I think he's like a very good bronze. Just like I mentioned, Sin-Soo Choo in the AL West, I think this is another bronze. It's like a must-have for these missions. Another good bronze is Ryan McMahon. As you can see, he actually has better hitting versus lefties than he has versus righties. He can also play three positions, first base, second base, and third base, so he's kind of useful like Muncy was when it comes to having multiple positions for when you do have to field, so that you don't have to change guys out, or you can still play a position in the field without sacrificing the bat too much. Another guy to pick up that's normally available if you can is AJ Pollock, only because he does hit left-handed pitching well. Gives you a right-handed bat to hit left-handed pitching whenever you have to face Bumgarner. But as you can see, these are the players that I have. It's a pretty stacked lineup. Some other players that you could get that are actually pretty good is the face of the franchise, David Peralta. So instead of this gold David Peralta, he has his face of the franchise, which is a diamond. That card hits pretty well as you have a chance to get the Fernando Tatis Jr. face of the franchise card, which is also another pretty good card, right-handed. He actually hits right-handed pitching very well. That's actually why I'm doing the NL West, is unlock that Tatis Jr. card, because I think it's one of the best cards right now that's in the game. As you can see, my perks. We went over perks last time and the ones that I thought were the best. I didn't get the same ones. However, I am really starting to like this inner piece, especially as a gold. I do have 3 diamonds, but I'm actually going to take inner piece into this instead of jumpstart, because I think that the significant contact boost down the middle is better than having to hit the first 2 pitches. Because if, for whatever reason, you don't get good pitches in the first 2, it does boost that, as well as this time I have Oppo Taco for outside pitches. So essentially, if Buehler pitches me down the middle or outside, I'm going to mash. And that's really what I think that after looking at these perks again, the 3 best perks that you can have is Inner Piece, Oppo Taco, and this Top Secret perk right here, because it's middle, outside, and inside. The Top Secret perk, actually, if you get it to gold or higher, it has nothing to do with having base runners. It just literally is all the time. So pretty much you're going to get contact boost wherever the pitch is at. Another one that's always very good, that it might actually be better than anything else, is the Clear for Takeoff, because it does boost your exit velocity, which will give you more power on normal swings. So hit X, don't hit square. However, you have to swing at the first 2 pitches in an at-bat, so if you don't get something to nut up in the first 2 pitches, it actually becomes useless. But I do think that this is probably the best if you can get a good pitch in the first 2 pitches. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the information. I'm about to go beat Walker Buehler again. Hopefully unlock this Fernando Tatis. Give me these 5 times affinity vouchers. This is definitely the fastest way to get the affinity players. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like my content, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe at the button below. Also, in the comments, make any suggestions of what division you'd like to see next. So far, we've done the AL West and the NL West. I mean, there's only 4 more left, so there's not much for you guys to pick from, but I really appreciate if you left some comments after you subscribed about which one I should do next. And maybe give some comments about who your favorite Affinity players are, or if or any suggestions for my videos in the future. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming to the Church of Chewbacca. This is Hopeful Chewbacca. See y'all later.